Welcome to Coral TV's Cheltenham Festival preview. Now let's get champion trainer Paul Nicholls and Ruby Walsh's view on Gold Cup Day. The Triumph Hurdle and Advisor, owned by the Royal Ascot Racing Club. Great to have them on board in terms of jumping, and you did your job, if you do nothing else, by getting him to win at Ascot. Yeah, and I said then we'll go straight to this race. I think he's improved enormously. I was so happy with him this morning schooling and just his general well-being, and did a fantastic bit of work Saturday. He's very much a mirror image of what Celestial Halo was 2 years ago. He probably wasn't as good as that on the flat, but you know, he's physically done well. He jumps great, and you know, it's another step up from him. He has to step up on what he's done, but you know, we don't know that he won't. When he was in training with Michael Bell, he won a couple of races, but then he sort of flattened out. But looking at him, you can't understand how he could ever have run on the flat, because he's a big, scopy sort, isn't he? Yeah. But he was very lean and very poor when he first came out. It took a while to get over being gelded, but now he's physically improved. I think gelding was the making of him, and I love the horse, you know. And you know, how do I know whether he's good enough to win or not? I just know he's progressive. He's in good nick, and if he's good enough on the day, he'll go well. The Triumph Hurdle, you have yet to decide which way you're going to go. Paul Nicholls has got an interesting runner in Advisor, and Willie Mullins has got an interesting runner in Secant Star. What's your take on it? Yeah, I suppose neither's form is outstanding. It's their performances you're going on. Advisor's won twice at Newbury and Ascot, and has won well on both occasions, albeit not beating a whole lot. Secant Star the same, was going to win a long way in Leopardstown, fell at the last hurdle on his first run, and went back and won in Gowran in an absolute canter. But again, the form is not great, so you're probably going on potential. Potentially which one to win a Triumph, I'm betwixt and between, I don't know. I don't think it's the strongest Triumph hurdle we've had for a few years. You've Carlito Briganti has a chance, Nicky Henderson has a great horse with a chance. Nothing jumps off the page at you, you're thinking, that's a Celestial Halo, or that's a Zanar, or there isn't one. It's an open contest. And I'm torn between two, I don't know which one to ride. County Hurdle. I think probably another interesting handicap horse is Tawag. Yeah, he was second in the MCR hurdle, and the fourth horse Tarkari won a competitive hurdle race in Leopardstown since. To be honest, I thought riding Tawag and Tarkari last summer that both were summer horses, but they've improved enormously through the winter. And I happened to be in Newbury the day of the MCR hurdle, but I was thinking to myself, I couldn't have Tawag, and funnily enough, he was the first of Willie's home. Not beaten that far. He's an improving horse. He won around Galway, which is a stiff finish, so the stiff track in Cheltenham won't inconvenience him. He's a horse going the right direction. Of Paul's, we have Tito Bustillo, who was second or third in Newbury to one of Nicky's there lately. He's a horse on the upgrade as well, who's not badly handicapped, not quite good enough for the novice races, and probably get into the county hurdle. I'd imagine I'd be riding one of the two of those. Both are novices, and I think really, to be honest with you, it's a race novices have a good record in, and you need to be riding the novice. Tito Bustillo has won 3 from 5 for you. Goes into the county hurdle. I mean, I love this horse. He's yet to, even when he's placed, he doesn't run a bad race. Yeah. I've had this race in mind from ever since he ran early in the season. I kept saying to Ruby, this is our county hurdle horse. I love the little chap. Jumps well, won okay, ran really well at Newbury the last day against Balvania, giving him, you know, we know level weights, and the horse that was second that day we gave £10 to. That's won since, and I wasn't nowhere near wound up really that day, so I wanted that run to improve him. He's on the same mark as American Trilogy, same sort of profile that won the race last year, so I'm hopeful that we get the same result. But yeah, a county hurdle, hey, it's a hard race to win, you know, it's very competitive. Pepe Simo ran up a hat trick in novice hurdles, and he looks potentially your other county hurdle runner. Yeah, he's in the Imperial Cup, he's in the county hurdle as well, and he's also in the Supreme Novices. So we'll just make a plan near the time. I suspect he'll run in the Imperial Cup and then run in one or other at Cheltenham, possibly the county if he had if everything went right on the Saturday. He's an interesting horse, because he ran actually quite well in the Championship bumper last year, and as we've said, ran well in. What made you step him up to Grade 1 company in the Christmas hurdle? Me being stupid, really. But I don't know. I just thought it was a bit of a soft race.
there was hardly any entries really, and it was reopened. There was nothing else to run Pepe in, and I just said, why don't we let him take a chance? And I actually think if the ground had been good that day, he'd have run really well. He doesn't like soft ground, and hence I've left him since then. So he ran a good race to be fifth to go native, and travelled well turning in. It was too soft for him. And sometimes you run those horses in those competitive races like that, it just sharpens their mind and everything, and that experience won't have done him any harm at all.
The Albert Bartlett, again, looks absolutely wide open at the moment. You've been put him next to Kellisbury or Enterprise Park or Najaf. Which way are you leaning towards?
I don't know which way to go. Telmazzini probably looks the horse to beat. He's been very tough when he runs. He looks like he stays forever. He'll be a hard horse to get by. That said, Willie has Enterprise Park and Fiona Gas. Paul is Najaf. Timmy won in Najaf. He's only run and he won really well. I schooled him last week, and he's an impressive horse to ride. He's some spring. He'd be a wonderful little chaser. He's not overly big horse, but gee, he's some use of himself. Enterprise Park will want every yard of the trip, and Fiona Gas was second to Dungabe, looks to have a bit of pace, but will he stay? It's an open contest. Again, I'm up in the air as which one I'm going to try and ride. Probably favouring Fiona Gas a bit at the minute on form with Dungabe, but I don't really know. It's an open contest and not a race that I've studied overly hard.
What about the chances of Najaf?
He's a horse I like an awful lot. We bought him, he wasn't cheap, we bought him at St Clousel in November, but with a view to being a chaser for next season. He'd won over hurdles at Auteuil, had some good grade 1 form over 2 1/4, obviously crying out for a trip. I sort of ran him half ready at Exeter, and he won over 2 mile 1, 2-2, bit green. He's turned inside out since that run, and going 3 miles is a little bit of a gamble, but I think he wants it. And I love the horse, and whatever he does now in the spring is a great cliche. Wait till he goes chasing, he'll be a smashing chaser. But I'm just getting quite excited about him. He's just turned inside out since he exited the run. You just wouldn't know how good he might be. So it's a bit of a dark horse going into the race, but I think I wouldn't be surprised if he ran a big race.